Frontline Update, April 9 through 13, 2026. Hello, friends. Today, we are looking at the events of the Russian-Ukrainian war for the period of April 9th to April 13th, 2026. Ukraine continues to defend its freedom, territory, and sovereignty against the Eastern evil from Russia. The front line remains highly active, yet Russia has failed to achieve any significant success. Instead, two trends have intensified: Ukrainian drone superiority and counterattacks in the southern and southeastern sectors, which are breaking the Russian momentum. In other words, the Ukrainian armed forces are beginning to set their own agenda and dictate the terms of the war to the so-called Second Army in the world. Russian losses, April 9 through 13. The Russian aggressors continue to suffer heavy losses, treating their personnel as mere disposable material. Personnel, 5,640. Which means Russia continues to lose the equivalent of a combined arms regiment every single day. Tanks, 15. Armored fighting vehicles, AFV, 18. Artillery systems, 290. MLRS, 5. Air defense systems, 5. Operational tactical UAVs, 10,093. Vehicles and fuel tanks, 996. Special equipment, 6. Analysis of military operations. On April 9th, Institute for the Study of War and Critical Protest reported that Ukraine has gained the upper hand in the drone war, which is already slowing Russian advances and facilitating Ukrainian counterattacks. Reuters noted on April 6th that since late January, the AFU has regained 480 square kilometers in the southeast and east. Counterattacks near Huliapali and Alexandrovka are complicating Russian offensives, particularly around Pokrovsk. Timeline of events. April 9th. The General Staff of Ukraine reported 164 combat engagements within 24 hours, with the Pokrovsk direction remaining the hottest spot. April 10th, approximately 163 engagements occurred, with the primary pressure again centered on Pokrovsk. Simultaneously, Institute for the Study of War and Critical Protest noted that while Russian command is prioritizing the Huliapali direction, southern Ukraine, they have achieved no significant success and are forced to pull in reserves to deal with the operational dilemmas created by Ukrainian counterattacks. April 11th, the Easter truce announced by Moscow proved to be a facade. Reuters reported 469 violations by the Russian side within the first few hours, including assaults and drone strikes. This further proves that Russians do not honor agreements, using them only to create a surprise element for attacks. Note: a significant prisoner exchange took place on this day, 175 for 175, plus the return of 7 Ukrainian civilians. April 12th. It became undeniable that the silence regime did not stop the fighting. The Ukrainian General Staff recorded 7,696 Russian violations by the end of the truce, including 1,355 artillery shells, 115 assaults, and 6,226 drone strikes. Institute for the Study of War and Critical Protest also recorded a suspected Russian war crime in the Kharkiv region and noted that Ukrainian forces advanced in the Kostiantynivka-Druzhkivka tactical area. April 13th. Combat operations returned to full intensity. Reuters reported fatalities in the Donetsk region even before the formal end of the pause. The final count for the truce reached 10,721 Russian violations, including 46 mil artillery shells and 4,500 drone strikes. Global media and analyst perspectives. There is a clear consensus emerging among international experts. Institute for the Study of War and Kretagel protest, Ukraine has seized the initiative in the drone component of the war. This is hampering Russian advances and forcing the Kremlin to deploy reserves to firefight Ukrainian-led breakthroughs rather than focusing on their own planned advances. Reuters. While spring and summer will be difficult both on the battlefield and diplomatically, Ukrainian counterattacks in the southeast are effectively disrupting Russian plans for Pokrovsk and the broader spring campaign. The Guardian, or Rob Lee of FPRI. Russia has launched its spring offensive, aiming for the Donbass, but expectations for a major breakthrough are low. Rob Lee notes the battlefield situation is better for Ukraine right now than it was in 2025. While Russia will likely press toward Slovyansk and Kramatorsk, both sides have the resources to continue the war into 2027. RUSI. The war is likely to drag on through at least 2026. The Kremlin maintains a maximalist position and uses negotiations as a tool to split transatlantic unity. However, while the Russian economy can sustain the war for now, it is becoming increasingly vulnerable to shocks. Atlantic Council. A classic major breakthrough is unlikely soon. The real battle is for superiority in drones, long-range capabilities, and industrial production. They emphasize that Europe has the resources to deter Russia, but currently lacks political will and speed. Summary. Analysts see a prolonged period of attrition where drones, reserves, and European support are decisive. Ukraine is showing it is ready to fight and destroy the enemy, but it requires the resolute help of allies to finally crush Moscow Nazism. The Orbán factor and the Hungarian election. A major political shift occurred on April 12 that could radically impact EU aid to Ukraine. Viktor Orbán has lost the parliamentary elections, ending his years-long rule. Reuters reports that the TISA party, led by Péter Magyar, has won a convincing victory. TISA is on track to take 138 out of 199 seats, a two-thirds majority, following a record turnout of around 79%. Why it matters? European leaders hope this will end Hungary's blocking of EU aid, including the $90 billion loan for Ukraine. Moscow's reaction. On April 13th, the Kremlin expressed a desire to maintain pragmatic ties with the new leadership, signaling they understand that losing Orbán is a major geopolitical blow for Russia within the EU. Key takeaways, April 9 through 13. 1. Stagnation for Russia. Despite heavy pressure, Russia has no significant success on the front. 2. Ukrainian initiative. Ukraine is dictating the pace through drone superiority, local counterattacks, and deep strikes against Russian logistics and air defenses. 3. The truce myth. The Easter truce was purely a Russian information operation. In reality, they never stopped attacking, proving once again they are an unreliable, savage state. 4. Political shift. Orbán's defeat significantly improves Ukraine's political landscape within the EU. Thank you for watching. Stay on the side of good. Support Ukraine. Glory to Ukraine.